Aliens had no idea who was coming. Until the Deathworlders appeared, the galaxy was vast, and in its endless stars, no species felt safer than the Zellorians. Their empire stretched across hundreds of worlds, each colony thriving under their strict control. Ships glided through space like silver sharks, patrolling the trade lanes and keeping potential rivals far away. To the Zellorians, there was no threat in the universe they could not crush. On the planet Zithera, a mining world on the edge of their territory, life went on quietly. Miners extracted rare crystals that powered the Zellorian engines and weapons. Automated machines worked day and night, guided by careful humans who lived far below the alien rulers' attention. Zithera's harsh, rocky landscapes and unpredictable weather made it perfect for isolation. Few species dared to come here. One morning, the calm of Zithera was broken by a faint signal drifting through space. In the Zellorian capital, High Command received it. The signal was weak, coded, and unmistakably human in origin. "Another distress call," said Commander Velak, a tall, silver-skinned officer with sharp eyes. "Zithera again, that planet is nothing but trouble." "Report it to the Council," another officer said. "Let them decide." "It is probably just a minor equipment failure." Velak shook his head. "It is rarely just equipment failure. Something on that planet triggers these signals more often than I like." The Council, a group of elder Zellorians who ruled by tradition and power, barely lifted their attention from their hollow screens. They saw it as a nuisance. "Send a small team," one said, "but do not risk the fleet. Zithera is nothing important." With orders given, a reconnaissance fleet of 12 sleek Zellorian ships set course for Zithera. Their engines gleamed against the darkness of space, a silent warning to anything that might cross their path. Far below, on the surface of Zithera, the humans who sent the signal moved carefully among jagged rocks and deep canyons. They were not ordinary humans. These were Deathworlders, soldiers trained to survive the deadliest planets, who thrived where most life could not exist. Lieutenant Kara Henson led her squad across a rocky plateau. Her boots left deep marks in the reddish soil. "Keep your eyes open," she said, voice calm but firm. "They think no one will come for this planet. They are wrong." Her team nodded, scanning the horizon. Massive crystal formations jutted from the ground, creating natural walls and hiding places. Kara's hand rested lightly on her rifle, not because she expected immediate danger, but because she always stayed ready. On worlds like this, danger was never far. Back in orbit, the Zellorian fleet slowed as sensors picked up movement on the planet. Commander Velak leaned forward, studying the readings. "What is this?" he whispered. "Something is moving faster than our instruments can track. It is not natural." "Could it be wildlife?" a junior officer suggested. Velak frowned. "No, nothing on Zithera moves like this. Nothing except—" He stopped, thinking of a species his kind rarely encountered but always underestimated: humans. The aliens dismissed the warning, believing humans weak and disorganized. But they could not deny the patterns. Something, or someone, was hiding and preparing, waiting for their arrival. Kara's squad reached the edge of a deep canyon. Their human engineers worked swiftly, repairing damaged mining machinery. Sparks flew as tools met metal, and a low hum filled the air as energy fields stabilized. "Do you see them?" whispered one soldier to Kara. Kara nodded. "I see more than them." "Sensors confirm our scouts detected movement outside the mining site. They are already watching." The humans worked silently, trained for moments like this. They knew any wrong step could alert the Zellorians above. And yet the humans moved with confidence, their experience on Deathworlds teaching them patience, observation, and efficiency. High above, Velak's ship swept in closer to Zithera. Energy shields flickered against the harsh solar winds, and the planet's jagged surface reflected in their sleek hulls. "Prepare to scan for life forms," Velak ordered. "I want full reports on anything moving on that planet." The Zellorian scans showed humans, small and fragile-looking, moving among the rocks. They seemed harmless, but Velak could feel unease building in his chest. Something about the way the humans moved, careful, deliberate, coordinated, did not feel natural. Meanwhile, on the planet's surface, Kara's squad paused as the canyon walls vibrated slightly. Dust fell from above, stirred by unknown forces. Kara crouched low. "Alien ships," she whispered. "They are here." Her team did not panic. Humans were bred for danger. They moved into defensive positions, using the canyon's walls for cover. Sensors picked up energy readings, faint, but growing stronger by the second. The first Zellorian scout ship appeared above the canyon. Its hull shimmered as it adjusted orbit, unaware that hidden humans below observed every movement. Kara gave the signal, and small kinetic mines, previously hidden under rocks, powered up. They were ready if needed, though Kara hoped the humans' presence alone might remain unseen. Velak's ship hovered silently. "Scan the area," he commanded. "I want a full inventory of life on the surface." The scans came back showing small human activity, workers, engineers, nothing threatening. "No danger," one officer reported. "They are primitive and weak." Velak's jaw tightened. He wanted to believe that. Something deep in his instincts, however, whispered a warning. Humans were rarely seen alone, and when they appeared, they often brought surprises. On the ground, Kara led her squad through a narrow passage. They moved quickly, hiding in shadows, avoiding open spaces. "Remember," she said, "the Zellorians are confident. That is their weakness. They think they are untouchable." The squad reached a natural overlook, a place where they could observe the fleet above. Through binoculars, Kara watched as dozens of Zellorian ships moved in formation. They were magnificent, perfectly designed, efficient. And yet Kara saw the flaws too, the arrogance that made them predictable. Suddenly, a small ship broke formation and flew lower toward the planet, scanning the area with energy pulses. Kara's eyes narrowed. "They are probing," she said. "We need to stay hidden and ready. They may think we are weak, but they will learn differently." High Command on the Zellorian flagship was confident. "This planet is insignificant," one officer said. "A handful of humans cannot threaten our fleet." Velak remained silent, watching the planet. Something stirred unease in him, the same feeling soldiers feel before an ambush. But he had orders. He would report and wait for further instructions. On the surface, Kara's team set traps, using the planet's rocky terrain to their advantage. They placed motion sensors, camouflage nets, and energy dampeners. Every step was planned, every movement measured. Humans were patient hunters, and Zithra was their hunting ground. As the Zellorian ships scanned the surface, they detected only minimal human presence. Velak smirked. "See, nothing to worry about," he said. But the shadows in the canyon, the sparks of hidden machinery, and the faint hum of energy fields told another story, a story the Zellorians could not yet understand. Night fell on Zithra. Its twin moons cast pale light over jagged cliffs. On the planet below, humans huddled near temporary shelters, checking their equipment and planning their next move. They were ready. Velak watched from orbit, proud of his fleet and confident in his species' superiority. "This will be simple," he muttered. "We will find their weakness, crush it, and return home." But Kara and her team were ready for him. They had survived storms that could melt flesh, creatures that could devour men whole, and terrain that broke machines in minutes. The Zellorians would learn soon enough that Zithra was not a place for ordinary enemies, and these humans were far from ordinary. The final moments of Part 1 were quiet, yet full of tension. Above the planet, the Zellorian ships glowed against the dark sky. Below, humans prepared, moving with silent precision. No one spoke of fear, they spoke of readiness. And in the shadows, more humans arrived, reinforcements who had been waiting beyond the sensors. Large armored vehicles, advanced drones, and well-trained squads slipped through hidden paths. The Zellorians did not see them. They could not see them. Kara looked at the stars above, the ships gliding silently. "They have no idea," she whispered. "No idea who is coming." And in the distance, unseen, the first wave of Deathworlders prepared. The galaxy had yet to meet them, and the Zellorians had yet to understand the danger heading their way. In the calm before the storm, only one thing was certain. Zithra would never be the same again. The first light of Zithra's twin suns reflected off the jagged crystal formations, turning the rocky planet into a landscape of fiery gold and cold steel. The Zellorian fleet hovered above, scanning and searching, confident in their superiority. They were strong, organized, and sure of themselves. Yet something stirred beneath the surface, something they could not see but would soon regret underestimating. Lieutenant Kara Henson crouched behind a ridge with her squad. Each Deathworlder was trained to survive what would kill others. Their movements were quiet, precise, and deadly. Kara's eyes swept across the horizon, spotting the first shadows of alien ships through the hazy sky. "They are moving closer," she whispered, her voice steady. "Stay calm. Remember, we strike only when needed. Let them underestimate us." Her squad nodded. The humans didn't panic. Fear was a luxury for the weak, and they were anything but weak. They had survived storms that could melt flesh, beasts that could crush bone, and machines designed to hunt them to extinction. Above, Commander Velak scanned the planet through advanced sensors. The Zellorian ships were sleek, designed for speed and firepower. They were confident that a few isolated humans could not pose a threat. "Scan every canyon," Velak ordered. "I want a full inventory of life forms on the planet. Nothing must escape our notice." The scans returned minimal activity. Just a handful of humans scattered across the surface, seemingly vulnerable. Velak smiled, certain of their easy victory. But Velak didn't see the hidden energy signatures, the traps placed across the jagged terrain, or the faint hum of weapons being tested. He could not see the humans who had already begun preparations to defend themselves. Kara watched a scout ship hover lower, sending pulses to probe the surface. She motioned to her squad. "Now," she said, "engage only if they discover us, otherwise we remain hidden." The humans slipped into shadows, moving like ghosts. Small, concealed kinetic mines powered up under rocks, their sensors ready to trigger on alien movement. The Deathworlders had adapted to Zithara's unpredictable terrain, making them nearly invisible. The first contact came unexpectedly. A small Zellorian ship, sleek and silver, dropped lower than the others, scanning the area with energy pulses. Kara's squad held their breath as the pulses swept over their hiding spots. A mine activated but remained dormant, waiting for a true threat. "Steady," Kara whispered. "Patience." The scout ship paused, unaware that it was being observed by hundreds of eyes hidden in the rocky crevices. Kara's squad watched as alien sensors flickered, trying to detect the humans. The humans had learned to move with silence and precision, making them almost undetectable. Velak, on the flagship above, monitored the sensors. "Nothing worth attention," he said aloud. But deep inside, a small seed of doubt began to grow. There was movement below, coordinated movement, far more intelligent than wildlife. Something about it made him uneasy. On the ground, Kara signaled her squad to hold position. They waited, patient and disciplined. Then, without warning, a small skirmish erupted. An alien scout ship fired at a distant rock formation, mistaking it for a human outpost. The blast triggered a hidden mine, sending a pulse that disabled the ship's systems for a few critical seconds. The humans moved swiftly. Kinetic pulses and energy nets disabled more ships, striking with precision impossible to predict. The Zellorians, for the first time, realized that the humans were not ordinary beings. Their tactics were clever, unpredictable, and deadly. "Report!" Velak shouted over the comms. "What is happening down there?" Sensors flickered, showing damage and anomalies. "Commander," an officer replied, "multiple Zellorian ships have lost function temporarily. Unknown forces are operating on the surface. It appears coordinated." Velak's confidence faltered. He had never encountered humans like this. They were supposed to be weak, a minor annoyance at most. Yet the Deathworlders were proving otherwise, turning the harsh planet into a trap that even the most advanced technology struggled to navigate. Kara's squad moved like shadows across the rocky terrain. Engineers repaired critical machinery as soldiers covered their positions. Drones hovered silently, observing alien movements and sending real-time updates to Kara's tablet. Every action was deliberate, designed to mislead and control the enemy. A second wave of Zellorian scouts approached, unaware of the traps awaiting them. One ship swooped low, attempting to scan a canyon, only to be caught in a concealed energy net. Sparks flew as the hull glowed and alarms blared. The humans did not fire directly, they let the environment and the traps do the work. On the flagship, Velak's face grew pale beneath his silver skin. "These humans, they are not what we expected," he admitted quietly. "Their strategy, their control over this planet, it is impressive." The fleet above became cautious. No longer did they glide with arrogance. Sensors swept more carefully. Shields were raised higher. Every ship maintained distance from the hidden terrain below. Yet it was too late. The humans had already tested their tactics, learned the weaknesses, and adapted quickly. Kara observed the alien reactions through her long-range scope. She allowed herself a small smile. "They are learning," she whispered. "Too late." Suddenly, an alien dropship attempted a descent into a canyon, aiming to capture or eliminate human positions. Kara's squad reacted instantly. Mines activated beneath the dropship, disabling its landing thrusters. Energy pulses disrupted its navigation. Within moments, it spun out of control and crashed harmlessly into a rock wall. The Zalorian fleet above grew more frantic. "Pull back," one officer shouted. "They are stronger than anticipated." Velak clenched his fists. Pride and disbelief warred within him. He had never faced humans who could withstand even minor attacks, let alone organized defense across such hostile terrain. Kara's squad advanced cautiously, moving to intercept a small alien patrol attempting to flank their position. The humans moved silently and efficiently, disabling alien sensors and neutralizing the patrol without being detected. Each step was a lesson in patience and cunning, honed from years of surviving Deathworlds that crushed weaker species. The battle above the canyon escalated. Zalorian ships fired energy beams and pulse cannons, attempting to flush out the hidden humans. Yet every attack was anticipated. Humans had mapped every ridge, canyon, and crystal formation, using them as natural shields and traps. Shots that should have destroyed them were deflected, absorbed, or avoided entirely. Velak's voice was tense now. "We cannot engage as we planned. Their defense is extraordinary. We must regroup and reconsider our tactics." But the humans were not waiting for him. Kara led a squad to a higher vantage point, observing the fleet and identifying the weakest points. "Their arrogance is their weakness," she said. "They believe strength alone will win. Let's show them otherwise." The squad deployed small, mobile drones, which moved through the rocky terrain unseen. These drones interfered with Zalorian ship systems, causing brief malfunctions and confusion. One ship spun uncontrollably, its shields flickering as the drones disrupted its energy flow. The humans did not celebrate. They simply continued their work, patient and precise. Above, Velak realized the magnitude of the mistake. Humans were not just surviving, they were controlling the battlefield. Every movement, every attack, every maneuver had been anticipated. The Deathworlders were not ordinary soldiers. They were masters of survival and strategy. Kara watched another scout ship hover too close to a ridge. With a subtle gesture, she activated a series of concealed charges. A controlled detonation sent rocks tumbling down, striking the ship and forcing it to retreat. "Let them learn," she said softly, "the hard way." The Zalorians' pride shattered bit by bit. Ships fired blindly into canyons, wasting energy, while the humans remained calm, adjusting their defenses with ease. They were invisible, untouchable, and unstoppable for now. Velak's communications crackled. "Report! Why are our ships failing?" "Commander," an officer stammered, "we are facing humans. They are controlling the terrain, the environment. It's unlike anything we have encountered." Velak's mind raced. Humans were supposed to be weak. Yet here they were, turning the planet itself into a weapon, defeating superior technology without losing a single life. On the ground, Kara signaled her squad to withdraw slightly. "Let them regroup," she said. "We have shown them our strength. They now know we are not to be underestimated." The humans retreated to safer positions, still hidden, still ready. The Zalorians hovered above, shaken and unsure. For the first time, the alien commanders felt fear, a foreign emotion for a species that had dominated the stars for centuries. Kara looked at the sky, at the fleet struggling to maintain control. "They have no idea who is coming," she whispered, "and they will learn soon enough." Above, Velak stared at the planet, realizing that the humans beneath him were not the weak species he had assumed. Something dangerous, clever, and unstoppable had arrived on Zithra, and the galaxy had yet to see the full power of the Deathworlders. The first battle was over, but the war had only just begun. Zithra's jagged cliffs glimmered under the twin suns, but the beauty of the landscape belied the danger hidden among its rocks. The humans had retreated after the first clash, but only to prepare for the next stage. Every canyon, every ridge, every crystal outcrop had been mapped, analyzed, and turned into a potential trap. The Zalorians above had yet to grasp the scale of the Deathworlders' strategy. Lieutenant Kara Henson crouched with her squad in a narrow canyon. Her eyes scanned the horizon, noting the movement of alien patrols above. Even the best Zalorian pilots could not predict what lay hidden in the labyrinth of rock formations. "Prepare the drones," Kara ordered. Her squad quickly activated small, mobile units that crawled across the terrain, invisible to the aliens' sensors. These drones transmitted real-time visuals of Zalorian positions, weaknesses, and patrol routes. Every motion of the fleet above was now visible to the humans below. The Zalorians had begun to notice unusual patterns. Ships that moved as a group found themselves delayed, confused, or temporarily disabled. Beams fired at empty rocks or disrupted by unseen energy fields. Velak, aboard the flagship, paced as the situation worsened. "They are controlling the terrain," he muttered. "Their strategy, it is impossible." One officer dared to ask, "Commander, what are we facing? Humans cannot do this." Velak clenched his jaw. "They are no ordinary humans. They are Deathworlders. Treat them with caution." The humans had studied Zithara for months, learning its storms, seismic shifts, and hidden hazards. They could predict the movements of alien patrols with uncanny precision. Even as Zalorian ships attempted to strike, the humans had already anticipated their actions. Kara signaled her squad to advance along a hidden path. They moved swiftly, using natural rock shields to stay unseen. Small kinetic charges were placed at strategic points, ready to disable ships or disorient troops attempting to descend. Every move was designed to give the humans the upper hand without exposing themselves unnecessarily. Meanwhile, the Zalorian fleet above struggled to adapt. Ships fired at predicted locations, only to find empty canyons or neutralized sensors. Frustration grew among the ranks. Velak realized that the humans were not simply hiding, they were controlling the battlefield. Every strike from the aliens played into human plans. On the surface, Kara watched a patrol of Zalorian dropships attempt to land in a canyon. She tapped her wrist communicator, and the humans initiated a coordinated strike. Mines detonated, sending massive rocks tumbling down, blocking the ship's landing zones. Electromagnetic pulses disrupted their shields, and the dropships were forced to retreat. "Good," Kara said. "Let them think they have the advantage. We are ready for the next move." Her squad advanced, taking positions along a narrow ridge overlooking the fleet. From this vantage point, they could see not only the ships but the patterns of alien movements. Every pause, every hesitation, every tactical decision was recorded and analyzed in real time. Humans were not just reacting, they were controlling the flow of battle. Below the ridge, engineers worked quickly to repair critical mining machinery, turning them into temporary fortifications and energy barriers. Human ingenuity transformed the harsh terrain into a defensive maze. Even alien beams could not penetrate certain choke points, giving the humans freedom to maneuver and strike at will. Above, Velak's frustration grew. "We must adapt," he barked. "Increase scans, target every movement, show them our strength." Yet every action only revealed more of the humans' tactics. Drones disabled targeting systems, energy fields deflected beams, and hidden positions struck with precision. The Zalorians began to understand that brute force alone would not win this fight. Kara's squad paused as a storm began to sweep across the plateau. Acid rain mixed with dust, reducing visibility to near zero. While the Zalorians struggled to maintain control of their ships, the humans used the storm to their advantage. Sensors were recalibrated, motion dampeners activated, and the storm became a shield. No longer visible to the fleet, they moved silently to the next strategic point. Velak watched the storm through a thick energy shield. "This weather, it should hinder us more than them." "Why are they still so organized?" he muttered. "How can humans survive here?" "They are Deathworlders, Commander," an officer replied. "They are trained for planets where survival seems impossible. Ordinary species would have died long ago." Above the plateau, the alien fleet attempted a coordinated strike on a suspected human position. Beams of energy cut through the storm, aiming for rocks that might hide enemies. But Kara had anticipated this. Using the storm and natural formations, her squad directed the energy toward harmless cliffs. The beams struck the wrong targets, wasting alien firepower and exposing their positions to human sensors. Kara observed, calculating every move. "They are predictable," she whispered. "Their arrogance blinds them." In the canyon below, a human engineer triggered a trap designed to collapse part of the rock face. Alien patrols were forced to retreat as massive rocks tumbled down, creating impassable barriers. A squad of Deathworlders moved forward unseen, taking positions that allowed them to fire on the fleet if necessary. Yet Kara held them back. This was not yet the time for open battle. Patience would win. Velak's fleet became cautious, hesitant to descend further into the treacherous terrain. Every step revealed more of the humans' capabilities. The Zalorians were intelligent, but their arrogance prevented them from recognizing the extent of human strategy. Kara signaled her squad to begin reconnaissance. Small drones moved ahead, mapping alien weaknesses and identifying supply points. Every movement, every energy fluctuation, every ship response was recorded. Humans were preparing not just to defend Zithara, they were preparing to control the battlefield completely. A small Zelorian dropship attempted another landing near a ridge. Kara's squad activated a concealed EMP device. The ship's systems flickered and failed temporarily, forcing it to crash land in a canyon far from its intended target. The humans did not celebrate, they simply noted the position for future strategy. Above, Velak's voice was tense. "We cannot continue like this," he said. "Our technology is superior, but these humans, they are adapting faster than expected. They are turning the planet itself into a weapon against us." Kara smiled faintly. "Exactly as planned," she whispered. The storm intensified and visibility dropped to almost zero. The humans used it to move silently to new positions, setting up energy barriers and motion traps. The Zelorians above struggled to track movement, their advanced sensors unable to pierce the combination of weather and human ingenuity. One of Kara's squad members, Private Samuels, pointed to a ridge where a small alien patrol attempted to flank them. "They are coming this way," he said. Kara nodded. "Let them approach." "We control the engagement." The humans remained hidden, letting the aliens move into predictable patterns. Mines and traps were in position, but the humans waited, conserving resources for the perfect moment. Velak realized that brute force was no longer effective. Every attempt to strike or intimidate the humans only revealed more weaknesses in his fleet. Ships became scattered, patrols hesitant, and morale began to waver. For the first time, Zelorian confidence faltered. Kara led her squad to another vantage point overlooking the fleet. "They think numbers will win," she said quietly. "They will learn that strategy and skill matter more." The humans observed alien formations, noting how their ships reacted to terrain, weather, and environmental hazards. Every misstep was a lesson, every hesitation an opportunity. Deathworlders thrived in conditions that would crush ordinary species. Zithara was their ally, its storms and jagged terrain providing the perfect advantage. Suddenly, a series of alien ships attempted a coordinated descent into a narrow canyon. Kara tapped her wrist communicator, signaling the squad to prepare. Mines detonated, rocks tumbled, and electromagnetic pulses disrupted navigation. The ships struggled to maneuver, trapped by terrain and human ingenuity. Velak's voice rang out across comms. "Report, why are our ships failing?" "They are controlling the environment, Commander," an officer replied. "We cannot predict their actions, they anticipate every move." Above the storm, Velak's confidence shattered. The humans had revealed a level of planning and adaptability that the Zelorians had never seen. Brute force was useless. Intelligence alone was not enough. The Deathworlders were a species designed to survive and dominate, and Zithara was their perfect battleground. Kara signaled her squad to withdraw slightly, maintaining hidden positions. They had shown the aliens that they were strong, clever, and dangerous. The Zelorians above were forced to rethink their strategy. As the sun set over the canyon, casting long shadows across jagged cliffs, Kara looked at the alien fleet struggling to maintain control. "They have no idea," she whispered, "and they will soon learn." The first clash had proven human resilience. The Zelorians had underestimated their opponents, and the Deathworlders had demonstrated why they were feared across the galaxy. Zithara was not just a planet to survive on, it was a weapon, and the humans were masters of its power. The storm raged on, and with it, the humans prepared for the next stage of their strategy. The Zelorians had learned a painful lesson. Numbers, technology, and arrogance were no match for patience, skill, and understanding of the environment. And in the shadows of the canyon, the Deathworlders waited, ready to strike again. The war for Zithara had only just begun. The sky over Zithara was a storm of jagged light and dark shadows. The twin suns dipped low behind massive cliffs, casting long streaks of red across the rocky landscape. The Zelorian fleet had learned caution, but it was too late to retreat. Every move they made now played into the humans' hands. Lieutenant Kara Henson crouched atop a ridge with her squad. From this vantage point, she could see the full scope of the alien formations. Every ship, every patrol, every beam of energy was accounted for. Her fingers tapped the wrist communicator, activating drones that moved silently through hidden canyons, relaying every detail back to her. "They think they control the sky," Kara said quietly. "But Zithra controls them, and we control Zithra." Her squad nodded. They were calm, trained to move in deadly silence, and patient. Every Deathworlder knew that the Zalorians' greatest weakness was arrogance. They had overwhelming numbers and superior technology, but humans had strategy, adaptation, and a planet that gave them an advantage few could survive. Below, engineers prepared the final part of their trap. Rocks were rigged to fall at precise moments, energy fields placed across narrow passages, and motion sensors hidden among jagged terrain. Even the wind and dust of the storm could trigger subtle alarms. Every piece of Zithra had been transformed into a weapon. High above, Commander Velak observed the humans with growing frustration. "They are stronger than anticipated," he muttered. "Their tactics, it is as if they are one with the planet itself." One of his officers frowned. "Commander, we could strike with all our firepower, destroy the surface positions in minutes." Velak shook his head. "No, we cannot risk blind attacks. They anticipate every move. Every action we take has already been considered. We must think differently." But the humans had already planned for this moment. Kara's squad remained hidden as the first wave of alien ships attempted to advance into a narrow canyon. Energy beams cut across rocks, scanning for targets. The humans waited, silent, patient, watching every movement. "Now," Kara whispered. A cascade of controlled explosions sent massive rocks tumbling down, blocking the ship's path. Electromagnetic pulses disrupted shields and navigation systems, and mines hidden along the canyon floor disabled engines. The Zalorians were forced into chaos, their formation broken, their confidence shattered. "Report," Velak barked. "Why are our ships failing?" "They are controlling the environment, Commander," an officer admitted. "They are invisible to our scans, and our attacks are ineffective." Velak's hands clenched into fists. For the first time in his career, he felt helpless. The humans beneath him were not only surviving, they were dominating. Kara's squad moved forward unseen. They took positions along ridges and behind natural barriers, ready to strike if necessary. Drones moved ahead, mapping weak points and relaying real-time updates. Every step the Zalorians took only played into human plans. One alien dropship attempted to land near a ridge to capture human positions. Mines triggered, energy nets deployed, and rocks fell from above, forcing it to crash. The humans did not celebrate. They simply adjusted, preparing for the next move. Velak realized he had underestimated the humans completely. "They are not ordinary," he admitted quietly. "They are extraordinary." Meanwhile, the storm on Zithra intensified. Acid rain mixed with dust and wind, reducing visibility for both sides. The humans used this to their advantage. Sensors were recalibrated to detect energy fluctuations rather than sight. Motion dampeners made them nearly invisible to alien instruments. The storm became their ally, masking movements and protecting strategic positions. Kara observed a group of alien patrols attempting to flank their position. "Let them come," she said. "We control this engagement." The humans waited, patient and silent. The patrols moved into predictable paths, unknowingly guided by human calculations. Mines detonated, rocks tumbled, and electromagnetic pulses disabled ships mid-flight. The Zalorians were trapped, not by brute force, but by the environment and human intelligence. Velak's fleet struggled to regroup. Ships fired blindly into canyons, wasting energy and exposing themselves to further disruption. Confidence had turned to panic. Alien officers argued over strategy, unsure of the next move. On the ground, Kara's squad advanced through hidden passages. Engineers repaired equipment, adjusted energy barriers, and set up motion sensors for future patrols. Every action reinforced human control over the battlefield. A dropship attempted a descent near a ridge, but was immediately met with a kinetic mine. The blast sent the ship spinning into the canyon wall. Another patrol tried to intervene but triggered an energy net, disabling communications and engines. The humans remained hidden, observing the chaos with calm precision. "Commander," one Zalorian officer shouted, "we cannot maintain formation. They are everywhere." Velak's face was pale beneath his silver skin. He had trained for encounters with strong species, but nothing had prepared him for the Deathworlders. The humans were not just fighting, they were orchestrating the battlefield like master tacticians. Kara led her squad to a higher ridge overlooking the scattered alien fleet. "They think strength is enough," she said quietly. "It is not. Skill, strategy, and patience win every time." From this vantage point, the humans observed every movement. Drones transmitted data back to hidden squads, allowing real-time adjustments. Mines, barriers, and energy fields were activated at precise moments. The Zelorians were funneled into traps they could not escape. Above, Velak's voice trembled. "We must retreat," he ordered. "This is impossible." But the humans had anticipated this as well. As the fleet attempted to pull back, more mines were triggered, blocking escape routes. Rocks fell, energy nets disabled engines, and electromagnetic pulses scrambled communications. The Zelorians were trapped. Kara watched the chaos unfold below. "They are learning too late," she whispered. "We control the battlefield, the environment, and their options." The first major ambush had been executed flawlessly. The Zelorians, despite their numbers and technology, were forced into defensive positions, their morale shattered. They realized too late that brute force alone could not defeat the humans. On the ridge, Kara signaled for a brief pause. Her squad observed the aftermath, noting damaged ships, disabled patrols, and disrupted communications. Zithra had become a weapon in human hands, and the aliens were powerless against it. Velak paced in his flagship. His mind raced. He had underestimated the Deathworlders, and now he faced the reality that they were not merely defending, they were dominating. Every step, every strategy, every patrol was anticipated. Humans had turned the planet itself into a trap, a fortress that could not be breached. "Commander," an officer said hesitantly, "we must consider surrender. We cannot win here." Velak shook his head. "No," he said firmly. "We retreat for now, but we will return." This is not over. But Kara knew the truth. The humans had shown strength, strategy, and resilience far beyond what the Zelorians had expected. Retreat or not, the aliens had learned the cost of underestimating Deathworlders. As night fell, Zithra's cliffs glimmered with faint energy from hidden human devices. Drones moved silently, monitoring the scattered fleet, and squads prepared for the next wave of engagement. The planet had been transformed into a near-impenetrable fortress. Kara looked at the stars above, where the Zelorian fleet struggled to regroup. "They have no idea," she whispered. "The galaxy has no idea what is coming." The storm raged on, but the humans were calm. Patience, planning, and skill had won the day. Zithra was theirs to control, and the Zelorians had learned a lesson they would never forget. Above the battlefield, alien communications crackled. "Commander, report," an officer shouted. "We are losing control." Velak took a deep breath. "They are more dangerous than I imagined. Prepare for further analysis. They are Deathworlders." Kara smiled faintly. "They finally know," she said, "but only partially. The full force of humanity has yet to be revealed." The first major ambush had changed everything. The Zelorians were no longer confident. The humans were no longer hiding. Zithra had become a battlefield controlled by the Deathworlders, and the aliens had no choice but to reconsider their entire strategy. The turning point had come. Humans had proven that numbers and technology were meaningless without skill, patience, and understanding of the environment. Zithra was a testament to their strength, and the galaxy would soon see that the Deathworlders were forces to be feared. And in the shadows of the jagged cliffs, Kara prepared for the next stage. The storm raged, the aliens trembled, and the humans waited, ready to strike again. The war for Zithra had reached its turning point.